everyone. Great to see you again. Actually, I can't see you at all right now, but thanks for coming out to the screening. I'm going to pass around this clipboard here. If you haven't signed up, I've never had a mailing list before, and I kind of feel like we're moving into a post-social media era.
One hopes.
One hopes. So I would love to have a way to stay in touch with everyone, because one of the things I realized when I was putting these movies back together is how much I miss everyone. So anyway.
And we have a couple folks who are in 40 Bands, 80 Minutes who are here with us. Do you want to introduce them?
First up, let's get Chris Schlarb up here. Where's he at? Chris. Let's give Chris a big round of applause. He was in the band I Heart Lung, and he's also the guy who got to put out the DVD, and he still has DVDs.
They're in a box, unsold. So I gave them to Sean because I felt like that would be gauche for me to come to his event and try to sell anything. So I was like, let me give them to you. You can sell them. And if they don't sell, then I don't feel bad. The end.
So we got, thank you, Chris. Chris, believed in this project when no one else did. He was a participant in it, and he's had the foresight to see just how amazing all this talent it was gathering every Monday at El Corral was. I mean, we're talking 2005, 2006. And he got to experience all the ins and outs of DVD distribution in the early 2000s, of a totally bygone era that will never be with us again. Probably for good reason. Yeah, fine with me. We also have Kyle Mabson. Everyone knows Kyle. He was our recent DJ. He's performed in a movie. He's the main man on the scene. Kyle Mabson.
Yay.
Hey, and let's bring our guest Randy Randall up here. He's from the band No Age. Huge part of the scene, performed in 40 Bands, 80 Minutes, and a regular, of course, on the LA DIY scene.
Yay.
Hello?
Because we just have a few minutes before we start, just tell us some of your most potent memories from this time. Not necessarily 40 Bands, 80 Minutes, but just the DIY scene in general, and how you came to Sean's shows, etc.
Okay. I think I'm in both of these things, right? And so in this, I'm like 18, 19 maybe, and I started going to the Sean shows in like 2005, so shortly after they started happening, and like right when I graduated high school, I guess. And then I eventually started doing them with Sean until the end of them at Pairspace, and they were great, formative years of my life. And now I'm an old man here, all these other old men up here reminiscing, and it's lovely.
Well, I was old then. And my memories are that Sean and I were like the two oldest people there. I already had 2 kids at the time, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? I still feel that way wherever I go. Right now, in fact. I met a ton of people through Sean and through those shows. He was one of the only people I knew that was like, could kind of swerve between like punk and jazz and prog and drag and all kinds of weird shit that I was like, okay, nobody else understands all of this. It seemed to be like a good gathering place for like outsiders and weirdos and stuff. I met my good friend Tabor Allen. We still make music together, but Sean hired me to record some music in like a shoe store. And that's where I met this band called the Widow Babies, and then I ended up producing a couple records for them. And
Vermont Shoes, that's another long gone House of Vermont. Does anyone remember that? Okay, that's fun.
Yeah. Anyway, memories.
Memories, yeah.
Yeah, I remember going to a lot of shows around this time and playing a lot of shows. I first went to the Smell in '98 when it was in North Hollywood, and that sort of blew my mind. I think, a couple of years previous to that, I'd done the Lollapalooza and seen Mike Watt play the side stage there, and here he is, the same guy playing on the floor in some sandals and like a Hawaiian shirt to like 10 people. So to me, I would have went from so festivals to then anybody could do this thing anywhere, and so when I finally got enough courage to start trying to perform or get out of my bedroom and play music, it was like I wonder if I could ever play a place like the Smell, and getting to do that and getting to play places like Il Corral and Paris. It was just sort of felt like it was that through the looking glass thing of going from being an audience member to becoming a performer was was transformative in places like this, and promoters and people that shows on like that made that happen. So these little like micro dreams that come true every evening when that door gets unlocked. Some kid goes from like, wonder if I could ever do that to I'm doing it. So to me, it changed everything.
The 40 Bands 80 Minutes was recorded in one room, basically, and it was quite something. The room at Il Corral. How many people actually attended Il Corral? It's short.
Can you turn up the house lights for just a second?
Yeah, keep your hands raised. How many people actually attended Il Corral? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Il Corral. Yeah. And how many people went to Perispace? Sean Carnage shows at Perispace. See those? And how many went to shows at both?
Il Corral was a magical room. Anything could happen. It felt like another planet, like you had gotten into a teleporter, gone to some ancient, distant, weird techno realm. And what did you all think of that room, and do you remember anything about the logistics of the night of 40 Bands?
Rope swing in the middle of the room is a key aspect of the whole thing. There's just a rope swing hanging in the middle of a room that was about the size of a living room in a house, and that's where this whole thing is happening. Very weird.
I remember that everybody had to pretty much use the same equipment, which I loved because it was like super efficient. So it was like everybody had to use, for the most part, the same drum kit, same amps, and that's the only way you get all those people, all that humanity through the room.
I remember hanging out in the kitchen. Is there a kitchen area? Yeah. Hallway, kitchen, bathroom, kind of both the same.
Indoor or outdoor?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a literal bucket in the bathroom.
Yeah. I kind of remember that. And then
We shared the bathroom with Mondo Video, which was they were in sort of like their terminal phase there, where they were filming like pornography inside the video store. So sometimes they would sort of just come through this curtain that divided Il Corral from those were the days.
yeah, it was crazy.
So the way 40 Bands 80 Minutes happened was I have always had trouble saying no to things, and so I would get the reputation for doing these shows with like 4 bands that would turn into shows with like 8 bands. And so someone said to me, I wonder how many bands you could book in one night. Wouldn't it be funny to have like 40 bands? And I said, we could do that. And I had lost my job like a week or two before. Please, everyone, if you can, go to YouTube/Sean Carnage, follow my channel. I put up all the videos from my day job at that time, which was The Queer Edge with Jackie Jett and Sandra Bernhard. Every day I would go and work with Charo and Sandra Bernhard and all these weirdos, and I'd try and get weird underground bands on the show. And then at night I'd go to Il Corral, and because we all lost our jobs, our day jobs at the gay TV station, all those people from the station, from the network, came down and helped us out and actually made 40 Bands 80 Minutes a reality, because they were like pro like stage managers and shit, and like actually knew how to like keep things rolling on time, which they did. We did this entire shoot. I think we started at 6:30, and we were actually done by 12:30 a.m. So go figure.
There was more than 40 bands, right?
We actually recorded 52 bands because planning for every eventuality, the producer and me's like, we need some backup. And we're not going to be playing 10 bands, 20 minutes right now. We'll release that soon. But there's a companion video that goes with this. That's really fun too. And all the bands are great. And I thought, well, we're going to have 4 or 5 or 10 bands that don't show up. So, all these bands that are over 40, I said, we're going to record you, but you may not get in the movie. But I thought, well, we're going to end up using every band. No, every single band who showed up played, all 51 of them, and then the gowns crashed the joint and said, we're not moving off the stage until we play. And so I thought points for them, that was pretty ballsy.
And then before 40 Bands, 80 Minutes, we're also going to see a short called Sean Carnage Parking Lot, which takes place at Pearspace in 2011 at a very busy moment in that scene. Do you want to set that up? Because we probably have to go after.
Yeah, sure. I think Kyle should get some credit here because he booked the Dan Deacon, Future Islands, Lucky Dragons, John Barba show. So thank you, Kyle. That was a great night. We basically took the whole usual cast of characters, plus all these people who had never been there before, and they caught on really fast. They were hanging out in the parking lot like pros. Because, I don't know, that was a big component of the show. Some people would never come inside to the show. The Sean Carnage Monday nights eventually just got a reputation. We're like, why bother going inside? It's more fun out here. So Dalton Blanco also deserves tons of credit because he actually shot everybody in the parking lot that night, and we've been sitting on the footage until recently when I cut it together. Kyle, maybe what are your feelings about that show that night? What stands out? Who's the guest of honor?
Did I even book that?
So this stuff happened every week. There's a show every week, sometimes more than one show a week. So it's hard to kind of piece together the details sometimes. I get it.
And the shows kind of book themselves after a while too. But no, Kyle, you did book this way. You absolutely did. You did. I know that you did.
Sounds like a
You made the
hot
post.
gig.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good one.
Good
I
job.
killed it on that one then.
Good job.
Hey, there you go.
Before we watch this, memories of Pearspace and what you want people to take away from seeing these things.
I don't know if I haven't seen this coming up, but from that night, the main thing I remember was Val Kilmer was there, and I told him I wanted to do a thing with him where he just did a monologue of whatever he wanted, and I was just gonna cut up and manipulate the Seinfeld theme over it, and he was like, "Let's go." And I don't know.
That's in it.
Oh, hell yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, there were probably some Tim Allen grunts and stuff like that. But yes, so yeah, great times at Pearspace. A lot of dumb shit like that went down on the regular. So if you weren't there, you missed out.
And what would you like people to take away from seeing these movies, like the scene and where we're headed as a music scene, perhaps? I don't know. That's a big question.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it feels like, for me, when I think back on this particular time and just, the idea of you booking 52 bands, figuring that, 10 would drop out or something, but nobody did, it just means that it meant a lot to everybody. No one was going to miss these kind of things, to the point of where, it's like, you get asked to do these things and, it's like we changed the name of the band, but we changed it back because that's who you'd asked to play, or, things like that, where it's just like, well, I don't know, Sean's asking us to do this thing, we have to do it. And so I think it just, that meant a lot to us then, I think still means a lot to me. And I don't know, the takeaway is just to do it. I don't think there's, obviously times change, DVDs, distribution changes, but, everybody can still get up. There's a room right now somewhere in Los Angeles that we could put this same type of show on tonight if we wanted to, you know what I mean? And so if anybody out there is ever, thinking how do you do this? You just literally do it. Get all your weird, goofy friends together and you will make something insane happen. And that's really what this comes down to. And you do it long enough and it matters to more than just your small group of friends grows, right? That you all become weirdos and you become old and you can sit on stages like this.
And with that, let's watch this stuff. All right, thanks to Sean Carnage and everyone here. I'm going to start the